All right, good morning, everybody. My name is Javis Olson. I'm with Detego Global. I'm here to bridge the gap. So using my experience from previous in the military and special operations to doing digital forensics to your side. I know nothing about your side. I'm very, very fresh to this. But however, there's a lot of similarities in the way that we do our processes, or can do our processes. So I'm kind of here to show you things that have worked for myself, also with highlighting our tool as well. And have raised your hand if you've heard of Detego Global before. Probably nobody. You, so. Really? So also, what I love about this event is for Neil put this together to highlight different solutions that he thought of that we is able to, like I said, bridge that gap with seeing your capabilities and what's needed and what's already out there with us, as well as some of our other partners as well. So got to thank Neil first. I know he's not here, but he's going to see this sometime. So I really appreciate that. So once again, my name is Javis Olson. I'm with Detego Global. I've been there for about 2 years. We're a UK company. I'm not. I'm from the US, I guess. I live in North Carolina. Previously, all of my experience in digital forensics comes from the special operations world of the United States Army. Still in the Army, I'm just part-time now, unfortunately. All the cool days are done. But I spent a lot of my time doing digital forensics on live targets and very time-sensitive things without going into detail, and as well as running a digital forensics lab. So that's kind of where I learned to cut my teeth in the industry, running a lab. And I had like zero experience. They're like, hey, go down to Africa, run a lab. Like, awesome, let's do this. So, but I learned a lot. And in that too, a point that I'd like to keep across with, even though this is obviously to be tool agnostic, showing our capability, you can never utilize and rely on one tool. In my lab, I had 3 different vocal capabilities. None of them that are being shown here today. This is just a different one here. So being able to leverage each different piece of software for certain reasons is absolutely vital in your investigations. And there's certain ways that I'm going to angle this as far as that deal with cybersecurity and the way that you can pull information out to look exactly for those articles that you're interested in looking for. So like I mentioned, we're Detego Global. We're in the UK. Horsham is in London is our headquarters. We've been in business for over 21 years now. They have, I guess you could say. I first started using them back in 2014. That's when I first got my hands on the tool and started using it downrange. Different places like Africa, Afghanistan, some pretty interesting places. So the thing is with the tool, it was designed for people like myself in the special operations field. Since then, 21 years ago, they developed different capabilities inside of the tool that you'll see in these handouts that can fill a niche and a need and a void for a lot of different capabilities, different departments that you'll see, like things like a remote. We can do remote acquisitions. We can do field triaging for mobile and computers. So there's different capabilities that have been developed over that time to where our customer base is spread from not just military, but to law enforcement, private and public, and to also include a lot of different 3-letter agencies out there. That's where we're located. I'm going to breeze through this. I want to get straight to the tool. Break train a little longer, but it's all right. These are some of our partners right now. We're located all throughout the globe. Another thing I'd like to highlight is our tool is the the platform for all military operations, for an analytical platform in every lab worldwide. Wherever there's a U.S. service member and there's a lab being held, our tool's there. I can speak of that because I was one of those people running those labs. And I forgot to mention too, when I left 3rd Special Forces Group, I became a digital forensics instructor for the SOF community, teaching Detego, teaching other things. We didn't have Magnet. Teaching all the other competitors tools. I hate that word because every tool is great in its own purpose. All right, so things that you're going to see with our tool. I wouldn't say unlike others. It's just we approach it differently. That we're very great at is the acquisition speeds that you're going to be able to see that I'm going to show you right after this. So triaging and prioritizing, and this was huge for me in my background too. And it may be different in your investigation. So correct me if I'm wrong, or if there's something different, just let me know. But things, how we leveraged our software are, you may have multiple different devices or different types of investigations. Well, how do you figure out what's pertinent? Where are you going to spend your time? How do you prioritize your time? Time's of the essence. You can't get that back. So how do you prioritize your time to figure out which device you're going to focus on? So we have different built-in capabilities. I'm going to show you how to quickly get some really rapid hits, so where you can focus on that, and then it'll expedite your process. The rapid extraction process is going to speak for itself. I'm not even going to really go fully in depth on that. It's just click a few buttons and you're going to see what's going to happen. Analyzing and reporting. So we have also the our workhorse is Detego Analyze. It's the forensic platform that does the extracting, analyzing, and triaging, where you can also build what we call a field device. That'll make sense in a bit. So as far this is big for I think a lot of you personnel in this room. Once again, I don't fully understand the field. I'm just a military guy, but I think it's very, very vital for all personnel, from the one doing the extraction to the analytics, to the examining, to the prosecutor, everybody within that frame, to understand what's being used on ground, so that way you know what to expect on the backside as far as reporting, how to view and understand what's being shown to you, presented to you, even though you were maybe not the one that did that extraction. So understanding these tools is vital for you as well as the ones doing the extractions. Triaging and prioritizing. I'm just going to show these. I'm just going to show you these real time. So field triage, you're going to build a device, right? So this is me saying I'm going to go on scene, or somebody, one of my other personnel are going to go on scene to do this extraction. So I need to prioritize my time, make it of the essence to say, hey, all these devices, which one is pertinent to me? So we have a field triage capability where this is, and this right here, this is literally the two ones that I brought with me in all my real world operations. With these two pieces of device, I can image and triage any computer, any Max a little. We have support models list, but I can take this on scene and I can image a computer. I can triage a computer, get real-time hash lists, hits and keyword hits in a matter of minutes, less than minutes, just by building some of these field devices. And this other one that's labeled, I'm very OCD, as you can tell. This other one's labeled collector. That will make sense when I show you the ballistic aspect. But the field triage capability and the simplicity of the tool. I know everybody says there's a lot of crutch words that I just hate. But the simplicity of the tool is I can take this, hand it to somebody out there on the street and say, hey, plug this into that computer, select that blue button, tell me what color that big circle over there turns. Is it red? I have hash hits. Is it amber? I have keyword hits. And that's it. Anybody, I taught this to all the cool guys you can think of, SEALs, Green Berets, the Dev Crew guys. If they can use this, they're really good at pulling the trigger, not so good at computers. I think you guys would be just fine. So once again, you're going to see all this real time, real live, and understand it. This is one that I was messing around with over here, and I love MD Live. So a lot of people say, hey, what's different from you from other different people, software companies out there? This is one that I think highlights us as well. And once again, it's just another tool in your belt, along with everything else that you have in your lab or wherever else you work. The mobile triage capability for MD Live is very, very functional. It's very, very easy to use, to where you as an examiner, or once again, that person who is very junior on your team, can go out there, if you have consent on a device, and say, hey, here's my phone. You can get into it, but my privacy, I just don't want anything. You go through my pictures, see my calendar events, anything like that. But you can go to WhatsApp, get this one message from this one person because it's harassing, whatever that is. You have the capability to be that specific of what you're pulling out, excluding everything else, and speeding up that extraction. So instead of waiting 45, 50 minutes for logical extraction, right, that's what we've done before, to pull out those few articles, you can just do these specific extraction types of MD Live. Another thing that I've used this before in my lab, and I don't know if you guys come across it, but it's just to highlight it, is damaged devices. So if I have a phone, may happen to you, have somebody, a suspect, be like, hey, I know they're coming for me, I'm gonna smash the screen. Not really. So what I've used this for is MD Live is utilizing the software to manipulate the device. So even though the screen's cracked, I can still plug that phone in, get that passcode, manipulate that passcode through the software and gain access to it. And I can record everything I'm doing. I'm doing a manual extraction that's also going to be text indexing and OCRing at the same time. So it's an awesome capability. Once again, I'll show that live. And if there's any of this stuff that I'm breezing over, especially when I do the demonstration, that you guys want to take time to see more in depth, just let me know. I'm here till tomorrow. So this is the part where the rapid extraction comes through. And this is what we're known for. These guys know this here. But our ballistic imager, once again, you utilize our software, Detego Analyze, to build what we call a field device. This field device houses the field triage capability and the ballistic imager. Basically, it's a lot of executables, simplifying it, on a piece of hardware. This is what I'm bringing in the field. This is what I brought in the field. I can throw it in my pocket. I don't have to take that hard drive out of the computer anymore to do the imaging. This is the reason why I'm with Detego right here. What this did for me on target saved probably lives and countless hours of me doing my job on target. So instead of waiting for 14 hours to do 2 computers, I can get those done in 8 to 10 minutes, right around there, to do a full forensic image of that device. And as you see, yeah, right here, we hold the SOCOM, we hold the record. Record is imaging a computer, 1 terabyte under 8 minutes. So once again, I know it sounds like smoke and mirrors. I see the response all the time, but I'm going to show it real time. Yeah, I'm gonna show it. I know, I like it. I like it. I love the haters, man. Let me see it. No, I'm gonna show this real time, and I'll show you how I got mine set up and how my speeds are running. Media acquisition, you're just utilizing the software to plug in loose devices, so like thumb drives, SD cards, things like that. Drones, different devices. I don't think I really do use with you guys. And I mentioned the phone aspect too. I mentioned MD Live for the mobile triaging, and then MD Next is like a lab capability. It's very strong in Androids. Once again, leveraging another piece of software for mobile extractions. I wouldn't say rely on this full time. I wouldn't say rely on Celebrite or XRY. Very key full time. I mean, very key. But it's another tool to have in your belt. And you're going to see when I show it, once again, a lot of the stuff is, some people hate the term, but I love it, is Nintendo forensics. I mean, it's literally, it's easy to read. It's there's a lot of automation that's built into where you don't have to take the damn phone out 8 different times to get the process going. There's a lot of scripts that are built in, and there's all of that manual stuff that we used to have to do already built in. So you're going to be able to see that as well. For note, with MD Next, no, we can't do locked iOSs. That's why we have our partners here. And then I think this is one that kind of highlights possibly the fact that you guys might see or be able to utilize is the remote acquisition. Funny story about the remote acquisition. This was discovered by accident. I talked about this yesterday. We thought I was joking. I'm a very upfront person. I'm no bullshitter. So they discovered, so the purpose of the remote acquisition was a monitoring. So a capability to issue an agent to a device for connected status and just always monitoring that device until they discovered, hey, we can transfer files over a network by issuing an agent. So they just came out with the remote acquisition. So you can remotely, same network, image or logically extract or custom. If you know the specific folder pathway for user desktop, downloads, favorites, whatever that is, you can access that. I do this all the time at home with one of my target computers. It's just a lot of fun. I think it's cool. I feel like a wizard when I'm doing it. There is a way to do different network remote imaging. That takes, so there's a different setup process. I'll just leave it right there. I'll leave it simple. If you want to see that or interested in that, just get with me offline. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole right now, but you can, just different setup process. Analyzing, reporting, just a couple here. Fusion, one I use all the time. So if you have multiple extractions or if you have multiple cases, try to put it in your guys' terms, and you want to see, are they connected in any way at all? Have they been talking to each other? Have they been sharing these different pieces of information? You guys deal with ICAC or CSAM stuff, child exploitation? Not much at all? Okay. Well, either way, if they're passing information, you want to see, hey, are they networking, talking with each other? You build a link analysis chart based off of this. So if I have phone extractions, five phone extractions, and I want to compare them together, I just compare those with Fusion, and it builds out everything. Here's all the chats that they were all in together. Here's all the pictures that they're sharing together, emails back and forth. It's an awesome capability that's built into Analyze, which is the workhorse that I just told you. This is where you do all of your triaging and sifting through. Once again, how we're a little bit different is automation, speed and automation. So the automation side, I can use Analyze to say, hey, I want to create a custom job. I'm doing this one specific investigation for cybersecurity, for ICAC or CSAM, a mobile investigation, computer investigation, whatever that is. We have 26 different analytics that assist with looking for that information. So as an example, I have a mobile job queue here that has, I think, 14 different job queues in it. That does things like OCR and text indexing, translation, app allocation for the articles of evidence. There's a whole list of them that I'll show you. And I can say, hey, I have this mobile extraction. I'm going to import it, run after this job queue. Oh, and also at the end of that job queue is my reporting. So it's importing, it's doing all my triaging, and it's taking out a report just like it go. Let it do its job, come back and take a look at it, and everything's done for you. You don't trust the process, but you should. You always fact check what you do. Go back and manually do some more triaging and tagging, include that in the report. But it does 90% of the stuff. Yes, sir.
Yeah, sorry. How successful have you been with like grids or direct grids?
Yeah. So as of right now, it's actually a good point. It's at the beginning of the year. I wouldn't say we first started to, but it's when I first became exposed to it. Since then, with the way that our developers have modified the field device, hasn't been an issue for targeting and using it for storage. So either way, hasn't been a problem. Yeah.
To follow his question.
Yes, sir.
If you use a demagnetizer on the hard drive, will you still be able to extract?
Maybe.
There's
Yeah, no, that's a great question. There's different vulnerabilities that kind of depend on that process. As I just mentioned, I'll just show you it. I don't care. All right, let's get straight into it. Anybody have any questions before? I'm all about just showing. I don't like talking through PowerPoints. No questions yet? All right, so this is the hub. This is the main screen. This is Detego Analyze. Once again, this is the workhorse that does everything. This is where you go to build that field device right here that houses the ballistic imager. And while we're talking about it, I'll show you here. I have two of these built out. Once it populates, there they are. So this is what I'm taking on scene. I'm literally throwing this in my pocket because I'm saying, hey, I have to go image some computers or I want to do some logical extractions on it. Throwing this in my pocket. That's it. With this, I'm going to be able to do all this. I built it to do it here. So Mac, Linux, Windows, I can target. If it's password protected, I can boot into it. So it's a bootable technology as well. You can create as many of these field devices that your license is issued out to. We were spoiled in SOCOM, so we had like 30 of these per license. The only thing is kind of clever. We'll go down that rabbit hole.
Question for you.
Yes, sir.
In the event where a machine is like BitLocker encrypted.
Yep.
So
Closed container. And then you bring it back one time. So, yeah. Yep. Great question. But we do, in the field device setup when you're on scene, on that device, well, I guess you can't get past it anyways. Yeah. With a BitLock device, it's just going to grab this closed container, bring it back, and you can potentially get into that. All right, so that's where you go to build these field devices, Mac, Linux, Windows. You can target, analyze, and manage is where you go to that hubs and holds all of your extractions and all of your cases. As you can see here, it's pretty easy to read through some of these. Let's go through my field extractions here. I think this is a rebuild of an image right here. So this is a pretty basic one that I've done. Once again, the categories and everything that's listed, it's very easy to understand to the point where I could have anybody sit down and take a look at the different categories and the app information that's being pulled from these devices. If you're an old, that's a terrible term. If you're more of an NCase-based, file-based user, you have the ability to go to all of your artifacts and change it to that view as well. Because let's be honest, a lot of the major ones out there are like that. Some people like this look. I did when I first came out with it. A lot of the people that are using it in the military, they love it because they're nugs. But it's easy to navigate. And right here, these analytics is what I was mentioning before. This is the built-in crutch word, AI. And everything you're seeing as well, this is all offline. So you never have to touch the network to get any of this to work. So offline translation, everything you see here is all listed offline. And these are all of the analytics that you can run on the backside to further parse out, similar to, maybe I have Celebrite users here. You guys are doing good. But there's further process you could pull out more information, right? So these are just the rest of ours here. Audio transcribe and translate. These are so fun to use. So what this does, do you guys deal with translation at all? No, you can use it straight from English to English. So then that's a great point. So what this does here, audio transcribe and translate, takes an audio or video file, translates it from a native language to whatever language you want. Or if you want English to English, you can do that. So, and this is currently being used by a certain PD, and they go English to English. I'm like, why the hell are you doing that? They're like, well, you know how many times we interview a witness or a suspect, and these are long audio files. We just literally just import it, run the transcribe and translate. It gives you the script of what's being said, and it's indexing everything. So we just have to say, hey, here's a 4-hour audio clip. Did they ever talk about man in a red car, whatever that is?
What's the accuracy on that?
For the transcription,
Yeah.
it's almost 100%. So it's based off English, Spanish, French, almost 100%. I would say with everything that I ran. The more harsh ones, it's what you can expect.
Detroit Caribbean outside.
What? No, I got you. No, I don't think so. If it understands like me, it's not going to be accurate. Ask Neil what he's saying all the time. No, it's easy just to test and try out yourself. This is another piece of built-in AI. So we also have facial recognition, which is an awesome ability. But the visual indexer, this is one that you can just run against an extraction. And it's similar to ChatGPT, but you can just type in what you're looking for. So in all of these images, these thousands of images that's coming from these phones, from these computers, how do we easily sift through that? And that's with the visual indexer. I can just go to my search bar and type in, I'm looking for a man in a sweatshirt, whatever, use your imagination. And I'll show you how that works too. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, so,
Say again?
like the pictures and everything, you build this algorithm yourself?
Yes.
Using
No, it's all built in house from our devs.
Okay.
Yep.
Because I was selling something similar.
Yeah.
Microsoft. So.
No. I know what you're talking about.
So I was-
No, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Well, to start with pivot from his question, is it a teachable system? Like, say we can.
Right now, it's not. So it's not learning.
Oh,
And if it was, we'd have to make it touch the network. So that's why we've left it offline.
okay. Because the question of the absence and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Well,
Well, the thing is with the accents too, it's similar to our symbols detection, typically for like terroristic or enemy, with different accents, not just accents but languages. Those that are being, I guess, newer to the software, it's simple as just having our devs write a script for it or bring it in. We're doing that, I swear to God, like every week for different symbols, different variations of languages. That's why the language pack is so large on it. It's supporting all, and it's offline.
So I can cut them off days.
Say it again?
You do some kind of updates on that.
Yeah, all the time.
Okay.
Yep, offline. Yep, so all you do is you use your install manager. The install manager is updated. The only time that this has to touch the network to get that update is by the once a month or whatever that is to install those updates.
So I will alert you that is due for an update.
When?
It will alert you that is due for an update.
Are you saying when, I'm sorry?
No,
That's
the other
the-
is that we use it. See what we need to try to.
Yeah.
Also, almost completely that's what
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, shot this one under to when it requires.
Okay. My man. So as of right now, it's email notifications when you're subscribing. Oh, as of right now, that's something that I was absolutely irritated me to the core. You don't get an alert on the software because it's offline, right? And so our devs were like, no, it's easy, just do email. So everybody always says this, we're changing, we're doing this, but this is 4.17 that you'll see. In 4.19, that's coming out in July, we're changing the storage from being local storage to network storage. And with that network storage, you're also going to get notifications for you have a new software update, things like that. Right here, acquired connectivity, that's what I talked about by plugging in different devices. So ways that I utilize this is if I have multiple, I mean, are kind of archaic, but things that I did, thumb drives, hard drives, I can plug in multiple devices to this. That's why it looks like a spaceship on the back of my computer right here. I can plug in multiple devices here and extract or image them all at the same time. So I can do 4 devices at the same time, whatever that is. All right, so the imager. Once again, I build this field device. I'm gonna go on scene now. I'm gonna target this computer. I'm gonna say this is my suspect's computer right here.
We timing this?
Yeah, I mean, it has the timer. It's not a terabyte. No, it'll show you how much it's targeting. I can choose the different partitions. I'll just show you.
March gets that, contact.
All right, so it's pretty simple. So your field device is what houses the ballistic imager and the field triage capability. So I'm gonna plug that in directly to it. Things that I've seen real world applications as far as just plugging in, right? So number one, your speeds are limited to how many open ports are on that computer. What is the operating system on that computer? The specs of the computer. That's gonna be, 100% where the speeds come from. Ways that we boost those speeds are utilizing these open ports, direct connection on that computer. Also, that's why I made these removable. These hubs, you can work through a hub and plug in what we call collectors here. So you can have as many collectors to boost the speeds of the ballistic imager as you want. All these are basically a repository, a directory for the imaging. So it splits the image out to all these collectors because all that's on here is that index file right up there in the top right. So I just format whatever drives that I want. That's why I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 6 total that I'm going to split this image out to. So the more collectors you have, the faster it's going to be. But also, when you put a whole bunch into a hub, it kind of bottlenecks. So the best speeds are going to be NVMEs. That's why I love using these, more stable connection speed. And then, direct connection to the side here. There it goes. All right, so I got my field device plugged in. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to start the extraction, and then I'm going to plug in another collector once it starts, so you can see how it boosts that speed up. All right, so here's my field device. One thing to pay attention to is everybody see all of these blue icons right here. These are all custom extractions that I've created. If I'm doing a repetitive type of extraction on scene, or if it's my team SOP to say, hey, always target user data, always target pictures, audio, video, whatever that is. You can create what these are called field profiles to where you just double click it, off and it's getting it. So you can customize it to go after whatever. I have crypto on here somewhere. Yeah, this is actually a customer right here. That's I created that for him. He's doing targeting crypto and pulling wallet information, which is pretty cool. But I'm gonna go to set this up. While that's fired up, everybody see that booking right here. I doubt it kind of touches the field in here, but it's we have a lot of covert stuff that's built in. So I had to use it in a area in a building, I will say. And it's pretty cool. So basically it looks like you're booking a plane ticket, but there's keywords that say what you're targeting, like overhead allocated space. Tells me that's gonna be my file header checker. And it's going to have certain things that mean certain type of extractions without anybody knowing. So you can just sit by somebody. You may have a thumb drive in there. I could use a thumb drive for my field device, and I'm actually extracting on that computer. Side note, sorry. So here's all my options, whether I boot into my computer or if I have access to it and I just plug into it. These are all my options when I have the executable fired up. Create new profile. That's where you go to create those custom extractions that you just saw. So if you don't want to create them over and over, you just save it as a profile, but that's where you go to target logical information, system information, user information. You think of it, you go there and build it. Load profile, run recent. If you just did an extraction on a computer, if you just select that, or if you just select run right here on the main hub, it's going to extract that computer the same way that you did the previous one. Another time saver. I never really used that. I guess it's a good built-in. Run stock profile. This is a good quick win. Once again, these are all one-click executables. So if I know I want to target like Windows information from my jump list files or my Amcache files, all of these right here, all I have to do are my event logs. I just select that, hit run, and it's extracting that specifically. So once again, the simplicity of the tool is a huge note to take away with this. User information's over here, phone backups, and my recent artifacts over 30 days and 6 months. These are all the quick wins, the quick selections. You can further customize an extraction by saying the last hour, 24 hours, whatever that is, and create a profile. The hash scanning, this is the express hash scan. It's a way to rapidly hash all of the files or specific file types with excluding everything else in that extraction, getting results really fast. So I know that the picture and video files is just for docs, I believe, and JPEGs. And within about 30, 45 seconds, there's like over 400 hits that I get from my hash hits that are on here. One thing I forgot to mention, this field device has keyword lists and hash lists that I've built into it. So I'm gonna get results for those lists real time here. But my ballistic imager, sorry, I'll quick drag it on. So this is where I'm gonna target just my target drive. This is one that I've set up a partition on this drive. All right, so you can extract RAM too when you're doing the ballistic imaging. Another huge takeaway, I have a live running system, I wanna collect RAM, you do that here. Compression and checksum are gonna be an option. If you do select it, just know that it'll slow it down. But it's pretty simple. Once again, I was able to hand this device off to somebody who has no computer experience and they're able to do this, so it's pretty easy. Just select run.
Good question on RAM.
Yes, sir.
Is it process RAM or physical RAM?
Process RAM. Yep. Good question. So once it kicks off here, you're going to be able to see it's going to pop up, and in the middle of the screen, it's going to show all my devices that are plugged in. So once again, with those collectors, you can have as many as you want. So if one fills up during this process, I just unplug it, throw in a new one, and it's going to continue to image. Another great thing, I had to do this at a prison in Nigeria. There was 35 computers that we were imaging. With 5 different field devices, we were able to image, go to the next one, image, go to the next one, and image. And it doesn't mix up any of the split images that are on all those devices because of the way the encryption works on it, recognizes what split image it comes from. So when you go back to rebuild it, to bring the image together as one EO1, it rebuilds it all together. And it doesn't get mixed up, and you can use it repetitively. So now you see these are all my devices here that it's recognizing currently. Wait for my 4th one to kick off. Go. Oh, wow, that's magic. All right, so now you see my speeds. They're right about like 1.5 gigs a second right now. Not too bad. But I'm gonna take the NVMe now. Yes, sir.
Sorry, just a really quick question from the chat. Does it have like blocking capability?
Yes. Yep. Also internal too within Analyze too. Yep. So now I'm going to bump this up. So I'm saying 1.4, 1.5. I'm going to do a direct connection with my NVMe, and now you should see it jump up. You'll see this one populate, I believe, on the right. Left, my bad. No, it's right. Filter 2. See it recognized. There it goes. So keep in mind, and I can't stress this enough, because a lot of people expect this right away when they get the ballistic imager. What makes this speeds, what I'm getting right now, are these drives here, the NVMEs, and I also have some Samsung T7s, right? Working through a hub, but look what computer I'm working on. Right, it's Dell XPS. It's not Windows 7 from back in the day, which I've had to do. It's absolute shit. It's so shitty. I recommend taking the drive out of this, all right? But that's it. So now you see in my log files, just over a minute, I almost got 98 gigs. So once again, this is a capability we're able to use real time in real scenarios to do multiple computers over and over and over, or target specific partitions. If I know that my user's in that C drive or whatever that is, just target that partition, and now you come back and you have all these different images very rapidly. So once again, speed, this is where the speed comes into play. Step 2 is, nobody's asked it yet, but what is imaging? By default, it's a raw DB format. Step 2 is now you have the split image, right, between 5 different devices. What do you do with it then? Then you take it back into Analyze right here, and now you're going to import that split image. Because I'm saying I need to rebuild that as one EO1, one readable EO1. And that's what you saw before. In my cases, I had the one that just had the disk image on there. And this is where the automation can come into play. I could simply, once this recognizes, I could simply just import and rebuild that EO1 or that extraction, or let that populate. But down here, as you see, run queue when done. With my processing ones. These are all of the job queues that I've pre-built for different extractions or case types, I guess you could say. Yeah, so if I know I'm doing an ICAC one or translation one, these are ones that I've custom created. So I can say, hey, now that it populated, I can do this. I'm gonna rebuild as an EO1. Hey, when you're done with that, I want you to do my triaging for me. Let's deep dive. That has 18 jobs. So now this is saying, I'm gonna rebuild as an EO1, and I'm gonna run all of your analytics once you select import. And at the bottom of this one is reported too. Yes, sir.
The custom build that you want, you guys have a problem with doing a repository that you can actually pull something that you can say for and put in the repository. Pull it if you need to.
I've tried that. The only thing is when we update to a new version, it doesn't, for whatever reason, it's not compatible. It won't import. We're working on that. But so what I do is I literally, when I talk to somebody one-on-one, I take all of my job queues and I have them import. So that way you have something to use. Yeah. Sorry, trying to read it right now. So I'm gonna let it get to the rebuild phase here. So you can see, it's gonna show all the different devices that I just used. So once this part actually kicks off, you're gonna be able to see item 1 through 5. All of these different devices that have that split image on it, and it's going to rebuild all that together. After that, there they are. 1 through 6, I'm sorry. So now it's rebuilding those all back together as one EO1. And in my job order process, you'll see what's next. I'm going to do my RAM, file carving, EXIF. This is what I built this to do, all of my triaging. And now I can just go work on a different case, work on a different device. And once again, fact check. I always fact check. I never rely on what comes from this. I want to see what comes from it. That's great. But however, now I'm going to change that to file-based view because I'm going to link case user too. And I want to drill in and do some more file-based extractions or artifacts. So that's when the speed and automation comes into play. I can't tell you how much time this is going to save in your lab or wherever you're working to do whatever device. Let's go. We're on computers right now. We're going to get to mobile next.
Just out of curiosity, so if you had say a multi-threaded machine and you want to distribute processes at the same time, because time is of essence, right?
Yeah.
And you want to kick off that job, transport it or convert it to an EO1, and then run your additional processing jobs, can you ultimately do that, or is it just doing it serially?
Well,
The only reason I'm asking, if I have a really hefty computer, like a robust machine, and I want
that's your forensic workstation?
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, and I want to take advantage of that. Can Detego do that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can, this is one process. I can continue to do other processes at the same time. I can plug in devices. I can import more. I can come down here to import, and I can also import XRY. I can import grade key. I can import Celebrite with UFDR, CFID. We play pretty well with everybody else as far as being able to import their different proprietary file types. I can also come to my export and I can create a portable viewer. So me as an examiner, I just don't have time to go through what all this crap that is going to pull, or I want my junior examiner to look at it. I can create a portable viewer, which is just an executable. They don't need a license to view everything. You send them the executable, they're going to be able to view that case and tag everything that they think is of importance to them. You're going to then import it back in, and now your case is updated with all those tagged artifacts that they have tagged just by creating that executable, the portable viewer. Another time saver. All right, I'm gonna cancel this. Any questions with the ballistic as far as doing the extraction and rebuilding and job queues?
One more question. I go for this saying execute the hash function to make sure that you're reading what you see.
Hash verification? Yeah. Yeah, so it's the built into the job queues. You can do it manually. Otherwise, by default, it's going to kick one out when you're doing the ballistic analysis. All right, step 2. I'm gonna go back on scene, and I'm just gonna do this one really quickly. Close that out. And now I'm gonna say, I could select one of these, but that'd be boring. I wanna see what I'm pulling. I want to get some real-time keywords and hash hits from this computer. So I'm gonna do a field extraction. I'm essentially gonna be doing that, but I'll show you how to build it. So I'm accessing it with config right here, right? Because this is a Windows-based machine. If you have Mac, you're gonna be using config_Mac. I will say, Macs are a pain in the ass. All right. So once again, a different startup process, but oh my gosh. We do have a supported models list where we can access it. I've done them before, multiple. Macs are Macs, right? Come across a Mac, good luck.
Any challenges with like the M2 chipsets that?
Yeah. You know exactly where I'm going with that. With live state, it's not an issue, but booting, yeah. All right, so now I'm going to create a custom profile right here, or a new profile. I'm just going to target pictures and documents. This is where you go to create that custom extraction with your different options over here, which can also be manipulated, and you can change these in whatever process and order you want. So I have a live state computer. I always want that RAM to have access to my hyperpage and swap files as well. If you guys have any questions, just stop me. I'm going to kind of go through this process kind of quick because there's a lot of options here. Bit locking. We talked about bit locking. So now, since I'm doing a logical extraction, I'm setting up this custom extraction. This is where I can include unlocking, or potentially, I would say potentially unlocking the bit lock drives if that key is found in the Windows-based artifacts. If. Otherwise, it's just going to grab it as a lock container. You can run password or whatever else you want.
Perfect.
Or is it you guys have built in? Yeah. Or yours. Who's yours?
So I need to sell my shares a bit longer.
Say again?
I need to sell my shares a bit longer.
Yes. Absolutely. Everybody. System information, I always included this on my extractions. And what I love about it is it has a lot of low-hanging fruit on this report that kicks out in real time. So keep in mind, as this process is running and it's triaging, I can view all of these artifacts real time on the machine as it's running. So system information, I always kick that up to the top of my job queue. So that way I can look at that report that's going to show me who's the user of this device, how many users are on the device, recently accessed applications, documents, software running, version, make and model, there's just a lot of good juicy information in there. Password finder, pretty straightforward. Everybody knows what that means, right? Different browsers. Internet artifacts, once again, pretty straightforward. And this is, I can talk about it here because you guys probably pertains to cloud files. So you can access any available cloud files as long as there's that connected status on that device. So you're going to see this option in a few of these different categories right here. So keep in mind, whenever I select that, say I select it right here, I could just then say, hey, I'm not on target. I'm going to save that profile as a custom extraction And now it's gonna be one of those blue icons, and you can just select that every time. It's gonna be doing the same extraction. So that's how easy it is to make a field profile. My logical extraction is where I'm gonna go to now kind of drill down, say, hey, because this is demo, I just want my target. However, I want to hash my full scan. I want my keyword match to match on both. You'll ask, why the heck isn't that by default? Because when you do match on file name, it's a lot faster, simply put. Think of the different entities that are using this tool. So now I want a keyword matching on file name and content. And then my file types here, this is where I can be pretty specific. Say, hey, pictures and documents, I'm good with that. But maybe I want executables. Pretty random, but you can do that here. And this is where what I love about too, you can customize this. You can say, hey, I'm only interested in these executables with these extensions. So you can go through the whole list here, uncheck them all, and be very specific. Any of these categories that you see here, they're always going to have more options on the right side. So a big one right now that people are using, they'll say on the West Coast, is the crypto. So they're only interested in, there it is, it's somewhere in there. This is where you can customize it. Say I'm interested in crypto, however, I don't want to get a lot of false hits. I just want to get hits on this one specific extension. This is where you go to make that more customized for yourself. I'm going to deselect that. But now that I have pictures and documents highlighted, let's say you are constrained or only have consent to go after a certain time frame. Let's go to my time constraints. You do over the last however many hours or years, or change it to absolute time to go from date to date, last week, whatever that is. So you can change the range there. You may notice some different terminologies in the software too. Keep in mind this where this comes from, the UK. So analyze does not have a C. It's mess.
We're okay with that.
You're okay with it?
We're good with that. Yeah. And you might struggle, man.
I struggle every time. I have such a problem with it. Man. The rest of these are pretty straightforward. File carving, you guys know what that is, unallocated space. Device metrics also has a lot of good quick wins. So IP and Wi-Fi information. This one is huge right here. So USB device information, registries. Maybe for you guys. This was a really good one for me, and I was able to verify individuals had a computer. So we brought them with us and we talked to them for a bit. And then internet metrics. So a lot of good quick wins with device metrics here. Now I'm going to say, hey, this extraction, I just want to do my logical. Also keep in mind, I mean, I don't think it took too long, but everything that I selected and the time it kind of took to go through all of that. This is why creating those field profiles, those blue icons are very important because then anybody can just plug it in, double click it, and off and you're going. I'm going to hit run now. So when this extraction processes, don't need my collector anymore, it's just for ballistic. When this extraction starts, it's going to look a little bit similar that you saw with ballistic. However, now in the middle of the screen, it's going to start to show me what we call a flyby window. When it starts to get pictures, they're going to start flying by right in the middle of them. If you see one that you want to take a look at really quick, you can hit pause, open that up. The main thing is on the right side, there's a big circle. It's ease of use again, remember? So if that circle turns amber, I have keyword matches. What are they? Click on it. Take a look at it. If it turns red, I have hash matches. What are they? Click on it. Take a look at it. This is where you're triaging real time on that computer without making changes to that device as well. Also, what's running in the background, I know it hasn't been asked yet, is in the USB directories. The end process of the extraction is to remove the USB traces of the generic USB that's going to register as in the history. You're not altering anything else out of that, and you can verify that by pre and post extraction. So that's been asked before. So there's the big circle right here. We call it traffic light. Doesn't really look like a traffic light, but you know what I mean. There it is. It's already got some keyword matches there. This is a quick preview pane right here. So my device is loaded with, I think, over 12 different keyword lists. My U.S. Department of State is just one of those keyword lists. And these are the keywords that are being hit right now in here from that keyword list. I can view them here, but I know that just me have done this 100 times. Once it gets down to here, I'm going to have some more results. However, if I want to start previewing what I'm getting, maybe verifying like, hey, is this device worth our time? Talking to this guy some more. I'm already getting hits? Yeah, absolutely. But I can go over to view scan results right here and take a more in-depth look, which I'm going to do here in just a second. You're going to notice it's always going to encrypt those files too, ballistic and in your logic. So that way, if you lose this field device, nobody can just plug it in and see what came from it. Part of the process when you import is decrypting it and make it readable. There's my flyby going there. Once again, if something catches my eye. If you can see them that fast, I can. Then I can take a look at it here. So this is, this preview you're gonna get. So create access, modified date. If it has a keyword, which I'll see over there, it's gonna be down here under content. So I can see what keyword hit for that device.
If exit data was enabled, would it be able to capture that in this view?
It doesn't.
Okay.
Not yet. The way that I can see, well, I could possibly see how if it has EXIF data is the file size. I mean, you kind of have to be an examiner to know that.
Sure.
So what was the keyword you were searching?
So if it had a key, this one doesn't have a keyword, but if it has the keywords, can be down here in the content. But now I want to look at my keywords. Well, I'm gonna let this finish running. So I'm gonna go, there you go. Good luck with that. So now I have 87 keyword matches so far. So let's look what those are. I go to view my scan results. Once again, this is actively going as I'm looking at it. So my keyword matches are right over here. These are my keyword lists. These are the different lists that are imported onto my field device that I've created. I see dark web. Let's take a look at dark web. It has 20 different hits. Oh, there's torch. Let's take a look at torch. And these are my keyword hits for that list. It's like a beautiful book. Probably nothing of really of interest, but it's in my location. Do not delete. I mean, it would be really important. So PDFs, documents you can view, pictures you can view, videos you can play, audio you can play. This is all previewing too within that time frame. And now, once I get down here, my content is going to show me what hit. These are all the keywords that hit from this one number.
So the keywords that you put in basically, to put it simply, an algorithm to start scanning the image and finding the
Yeah, because you remember when I set it up, when I select keywords, I selected check on file content and name.
Yeah.
So just looking at the name of it plus what's inside of it.
Okay.
And that's very important because if I didn't select content, I probably wouldn't get as many hits.
And if you would have a keyword cache flow, you would find that.
100%. Yeah.
How granular can I get? Like, say I want to look for like a particular visual artifact or something like that. Sorry, I spoke about visual artifact. So say, just for example, there's a particular image that I'm looking for, and it has like a landmark in it. Is it not granular?
So these two go together. With yours, cash flow, you go back. No, because this hasn't been OCR yet. It's just going by index text. So part of my job processes is running OCR. And that's going to index those. And then you're going to get new keyword hits. So that's why your keywords are going to fluctuate from time of extraction to importing, running some analytics, and a new keyword search. And you're probably going to double what you got. Because it was
OCR.
Exactly. Yep. The way that it's just built in house, server does say that. But yeah, same thing. Keep a landmark, whatever that is. You can create a custom search path for that inside of Analyze. Not here during the extraction. Unless it's a keyword indexing, then you can put it in there. But visually, it's something you have to run after it's started. So,
Okay.
or picture and video, object recognition. That's going to pick up on objects, cars, people, things like that. But yeah, when I was running this, I would just sit here and just watch this. And I'm waiting for my hashes to finish out at the end. But I had a certain keyword list that was made for a reason, and it was a jackpot one. Whenever that popped up, I didn't even have to look at it. I just have to sit here and watch, wait for it to pop up. All right, cool, yep, it's going with us. And we're taking all this stuff with us. So I'm just sitting here monitoring this. Fun times. All right, so now I got my hash hits right here. Once again,
Travis, that's all I asked. If, does not capture EX.
exit. See, it's capturing, you're just not doing it. Yeah. And then the way it's capturing it, the way to view it when you bring it back in is by running the exit processor. So once again, those job queues that I was showing you before that has all those built in, that's one of them. So that's another important thing. Once you just bring in these artifacts, don't think that there's going to be a lot of long information in some of these photos, some of these pieces of artifacts. Me, I know they are going to be, like I said, the file size of it. So I'm just going to go to all my images, sort by file size, get those largest ones up front. You're going to remember when you click it, you're like, oh, nothing's there. Oh, shit, I got to run at the exit processor. But yeah, that's it. I'm sitting here looking at this. I have 362 hash hits now. And you can, preview those now if you would like. Otherwise, I got what I want. And now I'm just going to bring it back in and import it like I just did. However, it's not going to rebuild it. It's already logical. Any questions with on scene? Yes, sir.
How many kidneys do you want?
How many kidneys do you want? Zero.
What does it cost?
So no. So there's different packages. What you're looking at, this one here, that's like the basic level, like Suite Pro. That's why I brought this.
That's the basic level? That's the basic level. Hey, just be clear, if you understand.
If you are like honestly, once again, straightforward. Is this live?
I did.
I just on Zoom, right? So with just the ballistic that you're looking at, it's like 2,500, and it comes with analytics.
US?
Per.
And
Per.
Here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the ballistic also comes with
that's subscription, right?
that's just a yearly fee.
Per user per year?
That's 1 year. But it also comes with everything that you see here in Analyze. With all those analytics, with the fusion. The only thing you see.
Sorry, is it per user?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, not per user. I mean, get whatever. I mean, if you want one in your office, 8 people are using it. You see what I mean? Different ways around it. Yeah. However, if you want one license that has, like mine, multiple field devices, which are ballistic, right? Then if you have 5 people in your office, you want one license with 5 ballistic down here tied on, you can build it that way. And this is just, the Suite Pro is basically everything that we have minus mobile capability. And I'm gonna do a quick break and show you the mobile capability. Now, is there any questions with the rest of it? Oh, wait. Before I do that, I wanna show you an example of, this will just take a second.
Reporting mechanism. The reporting mechanism, the point of report, it generates for you.
Yeah, so there's different outputs down here. So the different reporting outputs. I recommend the new report, PDF HTML. But there's also slipped my mind. PDF HTML. I can't remember. Yeah, this one has a further breakdown with nice categories in it. The mobile, yeah, you can just do either one, but I like this output here. Different types of output. There's also an output for geolocation information. All right, really quickly, guys, let me show you this here. There's just 2 pieces of AI, the analytics. I want to show you how they work and look. So I know nobody mentioned like, hey, we deal with translation, but once again, think about what I'm going to show you with English to English or whatever language to a straight language. So another thing that you're looking at here, so this is, I've done this as an example, but this has identified this one video as indecent. So you don't have to, if you're coming across with this, because I ran the indecent images detector on it, and I just kind of obfuscated it to make it hit on this, even though it's not indecent. But if you're coming across those images or videos and you don't want to see that over and over, you can just run that one analytic and it's going to block it and say, hey, now new examiner doesn't know anything about this. They're like, hey, what's this? I want to open this up. You can't.
You don't wanna go there.
Yeah, and if you really want to, type in safe or show. And now you can view it. So it's always protecting
Cześć,
that.
nazywam się Krzysztof Cewicz i pochodzę z Warszawy, z Polski.
Chill, dude. All right. So once again, think about English to English. I know this is Polish, but however, I want you to pay attention to what it's doing. Everything that you see, it's like hitting mute on your TV. Everything you're seeing at the bottom is it translating from whatever native language that is to English, or if it's English to English, whatever that is. Which, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Urodziłem się w Warszawie i
You can walk
pozostawiam
that.
całe życie sobie w Warszawie. W Nowym Jorku jestem tylko na wakacjach.
So he can confirm us.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Will you tell me how close this is? You're foolish. No, me. Okay. Yeah. So once again, the harshness of languages. So everything it's taking right now, it's indexing too. So it's going to take what it's translating. It's going to make that searchable via the transcribed audio here. To where, once again, this was discovered by accident, to where the police department, they're using this to search against different things now.
I have a question. If you run this kind of transcript, I can save this transcript and export them somewhere.
Yeah, you can save it right here.
Because I see a completely another use case here that we work with that. I can extract it and send it to that whatever.
Native language or translated? Either one. Yeah. Yeah, you can, if you wanted to just save this transcript right here, you can just save it right here. Otherwise, if you wanted to just go to that video itself, you can, in its native format, you can just export that item by itself.
And I can create one and then go with the AI and create all the languages.
Way up here now. So I like it. Yeah, you found a different format for it. XML, JSON, whoever's asking about it. Different reporting formats. That's metadata, but the other formats that we have. All right, so that's one of them. We go back to here really quick, and I swear I'll put you on a break because I need to show you the mode stuff before my computer dies. All right, so this is the visual indexer. So this only has 44 images. I get it, but I've recently tested. I'm gonna walk around in one so my computer does that. But I just tested this out with an extraction that had over 44,000 images on it, and it was actually called out during a conference call. Somebody's like, "Hey, you know that extraction you're using only has 40 images. That's awesome. That's finding it. However, I want you to try that against a bunch of larger ones." And so we found an extraction of 44,000 images, and the clarity of the images was like absolute trash. It was a small little circle with a yellow eye on it. And so I cleared my filter, and I typed in up here, lowercase letter I, circle, color yellow. And it found it within, after it populated, after all those images. So it was pretty amazing. So how you run it is you see the pink brain. Once again, that's that analytic, the visual indexer. I imported and I said, run against this extraction. So now I want to look for, looking for a man holding a weapon. There's one down there. That's not surprising. There we go. So based off of the strings and everything that you're typing in is going to yield your results. If I'm not seeing enough results there, I can change that threshold. Be like, hey, be a little bit more broad. Get more dumber. And now I see a man holding something. And let's say that this one here, that's more what I'm looking for. All right, cool. Let's search for similar based off of that item. And now maybe my results are going to change and I might see something else. So there's a few more there I haven't seen before. This came to highlight this capability, I'll just say in Wisconsin, with a child exploitation case. And the blue blanket always reminds me of it because it was a blue bathroom, where the victim remembered that they were in a blue bathroom. And they contacted the suspect, was doing an extraction of the phone, and there were no pictures of the child, but different holding mechanisms in a blue bathroom. So they were able to, move along with it. But they were able to do that by coming in here and typing in blue bathroom, blue wall, blue tiles, blue bathtub, until they found the results.
They were using the basic software.
This one, right? Yeah, this is basic.
What does the advanced do?
It just adds the mobile.
And I guess the next to customer, there is more specifics. So if I am police, I can get stuff which the basic customer.
Well, no, basic is a general term. When I say basic, like this is Suite Pro. The ultimate suite, all that does is attacks on the mobile capability. So mobile comes with two mobile extraction pieces of software. The Suite Pro that you're looking at, everything I'm showing you so far is an analytical tool, the field triage, the ballistic imager, then it has fusion, and then all the analytics. So it's basically everything besides the mobile piece. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
When you say basic, you just have here thinking advanced is launch with sex or something.
No, terrible term, I guess. That was my bad.
I mean, this ongoing blocker right now of software business.
Yeah, so that's
It's
once
actually
again.
supposed to be protected, so I mean, any standard person thinking that they can just create system security blocker. It's no longer secure. So,
Yeah, they can find the key. So that's a couple examples of some of those pieces that are built in, right? I'm gonna pause there. This last part's gonna be pretty quick, so I'm gonna go straight to the mobile triage capability. This one is my favorite, it's fun. So I wanna introduce you to MD Live. So MD Live is for those on-scene personnel, or if you don't, you can use it or wherever you're doing your investigations if you want, to do for devices that you have consent for. So once again, an unlocked device. An important piece of this tool is the privacy of that individual. You can assure they can sit and watch you doing this to be sure exactly what you're pulling, and you're going to get a report real time of exactly what you pulled. So home screen here, MD Live. It's pretty simple. Your steps are right here. This is all you're going to do. Well, right there. That's all you're going to do. Up to reporting. Once you select reporting, you got what you got. It'll make sense when I show it. So there's your two options right there. It's an Android or it's an iOS. It's going to give you your steps of what to do. Everybody already knows developer options, USB plug to get that extraction going. Because essentially you're almost doing a, not MTP, but a logical. And then your case information. You can fill out your pertinent case information over here on the right. Another great thing is you can include right here keywords and hash sets pre or post extraction. So if you want to get those results quicker, I advise you just to put your keywords list in before the extraction. Doesn't really matter, I guess, but you can do keywords pre or post extraction. But it's simple. So this is all you do. You plug in your device, you make sure that it's unlocked. All right, so I have an Android, and you just select start. It's going to recognize and pair that device, which I've already done, and here it is. So now it's saying, hey, this is your phone. Here's all your stuff that's on it. What do you want? So this is where you can be pretty granular. You can say, hey, and just because of a lot of recent conversations, I'm going to select one thing on here. You can guess what that is. I'm going to select WhatsApp. Pay attention to these little red marks too. These little red bullets, that means that it's support for the app downgrade. Everybody familiar with app downgrading? All right, not to insult anybody's intelligence, but I'm going to tell you quickly, briefly what that is. So app downgrading. Basically, in mobile extraction, you're always looking for vulnerability to gain access, gain more data from a device. Your ability to get into applications is by downgrading the app. Some software versions might be able to directly get into it if there's not a lot of safety mechanisms or encryption or anything like that built into it. However, I think with most trending software going forward, it's going to downgrade it to its previous version before they upgraded it to gain access to that device. That's the vulnerability. And then it goes in there, think of just like, hey, that's the front door to your home. Now I'm gonna go to the back door. Unlocked, got it. Go in there and grab everything. All right, or as much as you can, minus deleted evidence potentially. All right, so downgrade to its previous version. When you're doing that, number one thing that a lot of people don't realize, it's literally taking that application off of that device, temporarily housing it in the software to downgrade to the previous version, gaining access to it, going through that back door, grabbing all that information. All right, I got what I need. Cool. I'm gonna re-upgrade you back to what you were at before. I'm gonna throw you back to that device. Things that happen when you're doing this can happen is, just happened to me a couple times, is we potentially may not go back to that device. It's only happened a couple times. Luckily, it was for just map information. That's okay. And then disappearing messages or read from unread to read. Things in like Telegram, WhatsApp, Signal, it'll change that status. So I think Nick said last night with Greggy, one of the best quotes ever. It's like Eminem, you only got one shot. You got one shot. Eminem said it, right? So here's where you can be granular, right? You may have consent to just go into WhatsApp. So, all right, cool. I'm gonna go into WhatsApp and I'm gonna hit start analysis. It's gonna say, hey, you are gonna have to downgrade that app. Solid, let's do it. Got my little timer going over there, and I want you to keep attention or pay attention to that timer too. And think about the time it took from the previous with mobile devices to do an extraction, only pull out those certain artifacts that you were actually interested in, and get that device back to that person that had consent, gave you consent to that device. To where now, once I have WhatsApp, it is going to rebooted. Once that I get my information from WhatsApp, and I get down here to my reporting, I can unplug and hand it back to them within just a few minutes. But times have changed in such a short amount of time, it's insane. This is definitely a capability I never would have used in the military because we just take everything and never give it back to them. With a smile on our face. No, just kidding. I had to give feedback.
No, you ain't kidding. Well, you got one more question to answer. You didn't feel it.
Oh, I did have to give him a couple back. He just didn't know I had it because he was working. That was a good one. So yeah, right now, once again, so remember what I said about downgrading? I said I had to reboot. What do you think it's doing when it's rebooting? Downgrading that app. It's pulling it off of that device, downgrading, getting access to it. And now it said, hey, you have to unlock it because it's checking the device connection. I haven't unlocked it yet. So now I'm going to unlock it. And that's going to speed up here. It's going to take that application, put it back on there because it's already grabbed the information, and re-upgrade it. And then it's going to say, hey, here's all your stuff on WhatsApp. That's readable. All right, as far as deleted evidence, that's in those DB files in WhatsApp. MD Live isn't a tool for that. Think of just live information. Live information. The last part of it, I'm going to show WhatsApp and how this works. It's pretty cool. But this, I'm going to show this recording function down here right after this. And that's my favorite part. I'm going to lock the phone in. I'll lock it with the software. So not too bad. We're only over 2 minutes. That sounds kind of awkward. Anybody have any questions so far?
Yeah, I have a question. Would this work for Huawei's new Android system?
I haven't tested it. I honestly don't know. I know that the supported models list that's within MD Next works off of MD Live, works incongruent with MD Live. So it would be based off of the supported models list with that MD has. I would just have to look it up in that see. If it has an extraction capability for it, then yes, it would. Because it'd be in model.
All are C right? Not C.
Yeah, C. Type C.
Type C.
Yeah, C things. Yeah, not the micro USB and mini USBs anymore.
So that's
The wall, you say Huawei's?
Yeah.
I hate those phones. Yeah. So much. Yeah. I have so many bad experiences with those. In Africa. Great times.
Now what about BlackBerry? Would it be able to access BlackBerry?
Yep. BlackBerry you can. You had another question?
Yeah, well, question / statement. So say this is gonna take some time and they set up a nice little charging, handy charging station, just on my phone in terms of the charge is gonna take significantly more than 2 minutes.
Yeah.
How this process affects what's happening on the screen?
Yeah. So there will be some presence on the screen. And what you So with just MD Lives, the only presence is it's going to reboot.
Oh,
So it's gonna have to reboot and put the code back in, and that's the down. That's if it has to ask downgrade, which it most likely will. If you're going after evidence on the phone, it's gonna downgrade the app if it's available. MD Next, the lab capability, which I guess while that's doing that, I'll just pull it up, show you what it looks like. The lab capability, MD Next, is similar to even 4PC, XRY. This is the lab capability for mobile devices. It shows you your recent extractions, has a whole library list of thousands of different phone profiles. Once again, another tool in your belt to use for mobile. I wouldn't say, once again, to rely on this 100%. The bells, man. I love the notifications. Here we go. So now it says, hey, we've restored it, but to confirm, just to say, hey, let's make sure that it's restored. It does. It's like a false positive or a verification, like a two-factor. Even though it just said, hey, you already did this, idiot. It works. Got it. All right. So now here's WhatsApp. So it said now you can present and say, hey, what can I get off WhatsApp? Here's my contacts, call history, messages, application information, and my account. So now this is where the consent comes into consideration. So hey, WhatsApp, got it. All right, you can only go into one chat that came from Eric's son. Got it. And the first message that came at 9:59. Got it. Now all I have to do is select report, and it builds a report off of that. That's the only thing it's pulling off of that. So you can drill it down to that specific. Or if you want to say, hey, I want all messages, let's do all messages. Here's my call history, incoming and outgoing. You can select that too. Here's my contacts, my application information, which is huge to pull this too. And especially when you're proving things in court as well, what application version of WhatsApp did they have? It's also going to tell an examiner too if they had to downgrade it or not, which most times if it's WhatsApp it will be. Otherwise it won't even open. Here's my account information. Now it's contacts again. Here's my account information right there. So there's my user with their phone number. So once again, I'm just check marking what I want right now. So for time purposes, I'm just going to do all my messages. Yep, let's get all of those. You can also think of a real phone. You're going to have thousands of different entries in here. You can search by your different various accounts associated, date periods, different types. If it's a group chat, individual chat, whatever that is. So you have a lot of custom ways to search for what you're looking for. All right, so I'm just going to do my my messages, and once again, I just select report. It's going to create this report.
How about links and attachments?
So it'll be associated in a report in the chat format, and it's going to kick out two things, right? So it's going to kick out the report. If there's anything associated in the chat, like a picture or a link or a document, whatever that is, you're going to have a subfolder for media or documents, whatever that is. That's going to be comes with it. So this is just an example of what that report looks like. Once again, this is just my WhatsApp messages. It's a pretty simple. My evidence information is going to be there. What tool was used, what report and format, the manufacturer, make and model of that device, date and time, app version. Everything is listed there to even, I would say, any person that has to stand up and prove any of this is going to be able to say exactly what's on here. And here's my messages, the chat format that was pulled. If you have different chat groups, you're going to have different categories, right? So this one, these are all together here. This is a new one here. You can see the chat room name. So it's a pretty, talking about Britney Spears, watch your mouth. Got Noah Sharman right here. This is a whole different chat room here. So a very easy reporting format. If that's the one that I like, I'd say, yep, I want that. Let's go ahead and export that. You just give it a place to save. And there's a few different ways you can do this too. So you can also say, hey, I want you to export the report, plus I want you to export the MDF. That's the proprietary format file of it. Because I'm saying, I might want to pull this into Analyze now and run some of those analytics against it, pull out some more information. So you just save it, and that's it as far as the extraction. You can be very specific with it if you wanted to. And there's the format that comes. You already saw the report. Also comes with the log information, all of those goodies there. Any questions before I show you the recording really quick since it's lunchtime? Yes, sir.
Speaking of modern vehicles, so you've been plugging this into a Tesla and probably.
No.
Okay.
Are you talking about just vehicle information?
Yeah.
Paired status, it'll show what's being paired, what it's paired to and from. I wouldn't expect as far as so much for the reporting format for vehicle information. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, let's, I can't do everything. Can't even make it up. All right, so the recording function. This, I love this. Once again, so I'm gonna lock this phone. Shut that phone up. And I'm gonna use the software to manipulate the phone, saying that, hey, I have a damaged screen. So I can actually come on here. I've already paired the phone so that it's still recognizing here. And before I start, I'm gonna say, hey, I'm gonna do a manual extraction on this thing. I'm gonna record everything you're doing because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So I'm gonna hit record, start my recording here. I'm just gonna swipe up on here. Wake up. There, it's awake. Now we'll put in my passcode. Bam, I got my unlocked phone. I haven't tested without it, actually, that's a good point. So the thing that, the way it's able to do this is basically the MTP, the media transfer protocol, by establishing connection, because I'm not transferring anything at that point. It's just a, it's right up here, it's my Android connection for that cable that's recognizing. I don't think it's transferred anything, so I don't know, I'll have to test that.
I've tried this before, I have more options.
It hasn't asked me though. I'll test it. Yeah, I'll test it because I can even still come in here into this phone now. So his question was, if you guys didn't hear it, what if you don't have developer options or USB debugging, anything that's set up? I haven't had to. And
Never worked with the Boston?
yeah, with this phone, this one phone, I haven't had to. However, if it did let me in, but it wasn't able to let me pull anything off, I could then just come down to my settings using the software to enable it or verify. There's my developer options. So once again, this is manually manipulated through the software. I can then also, if I wanted to just use the device, I could just keep going, scrolling to see what's on here. Let's see if there's some messages in here. And then I stop my recording. And then here's my recording. I can use everything that's being presented in this recording. There it is. I was trying to unlock the phone. Here's me unlocking the phone with the software. Next thing it's doing, it's OCRing or indexing everything that you're doing on here. So then you can take this out, do your keyword searches, and you can also take this and run it into Chat Scanner here. So Chat Scanner is what I call comparative to Photon and XRY for encrypted messaging apps, so where it's basically going to index everything it's seeing in there and grab it by still shots. So the whole video is grabbing still shots, indexing all the text and the contacts through the whole video that you just recorded. Then you can search against it, run keyword searches, whatever that is. So it's a fun functionality. It's a very easy capability to use for mobile triaging. Once again, it's the simplicity of the use. Anybody can plug it in and use it.
You gotta test that function.
I'll turn it off right now. I'll do it.
Do it.
Hang out with me.
Yeah, because if it doesn't require a developer mode on, I can see some interesting ways where you're full doing stuff.
I'm just gonna remove it. Yeah. It's lunchtime. You guys want to hang out when I do it right now? Developer off.
We found out lunch was 12:30 yesterday.
No, but I'll say, guys, we do a broadcast at 1.
Yeah. Okay. So I just turned it all off. And do you know how to remove developer options on here? Go to your apps.
What wants you to send me this debug anything that should be?
We could turn it off, it turns off anyways. I'm gonna go a step further. I'm gonna go to apps and remove it. Settings, see if I still remember how to do this. Hell yes, I do. I don't think it's going to. Because I remember the status it shows right here about USB. Yep, allow USB. Almost had it. No, it's similar to just like the full file system, logical chipset, anything like that. You're gonna have to enable it. Still has to be able to pass it. I could have just made it up and said, yeah, I can. Then I'd be a typical salesman. No, great question.
But this is still, this is still open.
Yeah, you guys got any other questions? I'm hanging out.
I've got one more question for me,
Yes.
right?
No more?
Or one more. Because,
What is it? Ranger?
seal. Not really great word.
Neither.
None. Great.
No, I was on a special forces team.
It was support.
Yeah, so they have what called CRE.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It used to be.
Yeah, so there's two of us that were direct target support. It was the SIGINTers and then us. And then this is what we did on target with them. Plus chemical stuff that's really scary to them. I don't like that feeling. Yeah. You ever seen The Rock, the Nicolas Cage?
Yeah.
Yeah, those weird. Yeah, that's what I do. Yeah. VX and stuff like that. I was like, no, let's stick to digital forensics. Yeah. I don't want that. I'd rather be shot at than deal with chemicals. That's a lot. Because you can shoot back.